And then this next topic is kind of a tough one because a lot of us, it's like, well, how do I do this? Reduce your stress. A lot of your health is stress related. It is shoving your thoughts and feelings down. That's not helping you at all. And this is coming from a recovering feeling barrier right here because
same girl, we are twins, so much twins.
we did realize we were twins. We saw each other for the first time in person this summer, and we were like the same height, and we were cracking up. We were laughing. We're twins, but
those kind of things are hard to tell on camera.
Yes, when you've seen someone on multiple Zoom calls but finally get to meet them in person. But yeah, burying those feelings, not helping anyone. And some of us have things buried from way in the past, and that's a lot going on there. Kristen, I know you did a great podcast on emotional release. That was back a couple months ago. Go listen to that one. That was super helpful on this topic. But whether it's something like seeing a therapist or a counselor or a life coach or talking it out with somebody, or just doing small things in your everyday life, like start a gratitude practice. This has been huge for me. It's so simple. Write down 3 things you're grateful for every day that happened in the last 24 hours. When you look at the small little things in your life that are great or good, it helps a little bit. Even if there's something big that's really bad in your life, at least you have these few little things, and it kind of is like something to hold on to, just something little for your heart to hold on to. Deep breathing. This has shown huge health effects. First of all, us as Americans, we don't breathe properly. We breathe very shallow. So just stopping to take a few deep breaths, close your eyes. I love to grab an essential oil, put it in my hand, take a deep breath. Just, even if I have to leave the room because I have crazy kids screaming in the other room, just find a quiet, even if it's 30 seconds, literally that deep breath is just going to give your brain a moment. What else do we do?
Oils for emotions. So put those 2 together.
Yes, exactly. Some of my favorites for sure. Journaling, write it out. If you have something that you're, battling with your mind, write it out. Just write it out. This is one of my new favorites, coloring. And this is kind of something that's in honor of my sister because she loved coloring. Even as she was going through her treatments and everything, I still have some. She would color pictures and she mailed them to us because she was in Virginia, we were in Michigan. So it was just something she would color and mail to us. And it was just kind of like a fun thing for us. Like, oh, Heather sent me a picture, and we'd laugh about it and stuff. So I actually created an adult coloring book, and it's called Perfect Peace because that was my goal with that. I just thought people need to spend time and have that moment of peace where the world is shut out and they can just literally color. And I think that's what coloring was for her too. It was just her outlet of, I'm just going to let everything go and just dive into this book. So guided meditations, these have been a new favorite for me, and prayer. I've found some great podcasts online that are great to listen to and just give my brain a few minutes to relax. And because sometimes when you're trying to focus yourself, your mind wanders a little bit. There's a great one out there called Abide. It's a faith-based podcast, and they go through guided meditations and verses. So that's a favorite of mine to do, especially in the evening when I can't get my brain to shut off. And just like I said, anything that takes a few minutes away from the craziness, just to be with your mind for a few minutes and calm. Just whatever stressful situation happened in your life, just give it 2 minutes and don't let that stress overtake you. Because when we bury it and let that stress accumulate, it does lead to disease in our body. So not just mental, but physical.
I'm going to jump in here. Adding supplements and specifically nutrients for me in the last month, maybe 2, I don't think it's even been a full 2 months, has just shifted my emotional state entirely from being incredibly worried over everything and tense and snappy with my family. The littlest things would make me freak. Adding magnesium, CoQ10, vitamin Bs, a probiotic, like we talked about, and omega-3s, like getting those 5 things. And I only have a few supplements that I take every day. Like they are combined in multiple things, but it's just made such a huge difference. Like I don't feel panicky all the time. And I'm finally like in a mental state where when something like that starts to trigger, I can recognize it, I can deal with it. And I'm not just like at the mercy of like, oh, here we go again. Like it's just going to happen and I have to let it pass, because I was at the point of like, literally I would tremor from it. I was throwing up when it would get severe enough. Like I was done. I had to do something. And just like we talked about adding foods or adding a nutrient from a food, like it has shifted everything. And I'm not dependent on a medication, and I'm not, having to pay insurance payouts, to see a doctor to get help. I can literally do these things for myself. Like that feeling of, I know exactly what to do and I am empowered and I don't have to outsource this to someone else is incredible. Also, Bailey was talking about emotions. The book Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. Have you finished this? I know you have it. Have you read it?
Not.
This is incredible. Incredible. And there's a whole section in the back of her book that talks about different health problems you have and the emotions that you're probably burying that are leading to those health issues. And I'm pretty sure that she has cancer in here. Am I right? Yes, she does. She has multiple cancers. This was written by Carol K. Truman, and I believe she has a medical degree of some kind. I could be wrong. But this is an amazing book. She has in here, it's not medical advice. It's to give you knowledge and all that. But let me tell you, she lays some serious knowledge out. That book is so, so good. I can't recommend it enough. And she has an app. I believe it's just called Feelings. But you purchase the app and then you can go search your health issue and it will pop that same list of feelings up for you. So super awesome resources there.
Wow. I didn't know she had an app. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely recommend that book. That book will change your life. It will. And I totally agree on the nutrition deficiencies. Like that's like goes back to our body as a whole. Our mental status affects our physical health, and our physical health affects our mental status. It's a unit, that's for sure. That is amazing.
You cannot separate them. We are so trained to view them as different things, and they're not. Like people may have specialties. They may know, I know a lot about hormones or whatever, but all of those things, we can't try to pull it apart, our body as a whole. And when we do try to view it that way, that's where we end up getting skewed and we're not making progress, because you're not treating it as that like meshed one cog rolls another, you can't separate it.
So true. So true. I like the visual of the cog. Yep. All right. Our next, reducing our toxic exposure. This could be a whole topic in itself. Now because we can't control everything in our environments, but we can control what's in our own home, right? We can't control necessarily what's going on with our someone at the workplace that's doing something beside us, or a factory down the road, or things like that. But we can control what's in our own home. I always heard a good friend always said, we are the gatekeepers of our home. And it's so true. So what is in our soaps, our lotions, our perfumes that we're using on our skin? Let's talk about that first. So your skin is the largest organ in your body, and anything you put on your skin, it soaks into your body. So this can be good things and this could be bad things. So I had no clue about this 10 years ago when we were going through all this. I had every lotion from, the stores that have all the smelly lotions. And I just had no idea that the ingredients, why would you ever think that you had to check the back of an ingredient of a lotion or a skincare or a soap or a bubble bath that you were using? Because it's sold at the store, it should be safe. Well, in 1976, a law was passed and they grandfathered in a bunch of these chemicals, and they're still in effect. So this is almost 50 years ago. Like we said, 70s or 50 years ago, this is still in effect. So a lot of these chemicals are still allowed in our everyday products, which is another thing that we need to fix. We need to all band together and get that law reversed. But a lot of companies, they're catching on that we want safer products, right? So they're doing something called greenwashing. And this is where they put a nice label on the front that says all natural or vegan, all these trendy words. Like if you hear the word vegan, it must be good, right? So, because they know that's what we're looking for. Well, unfortunately, when you flip over this pretty item, you find a whole list of toxic ingredients that are definitely not all natural, but they're allowed to put that on the front. So that's some labeling laws that we need to work on for sure. But just be mindful and becoming a label reader. So this is something that I learned through this whole process is I was accountable to look at all the ingredients and the things I was using. And the odds were if I couldn't pronounce it, I probably should toss it. It's probably not good. So, and I didn't do this overnight. This was like a slow process. And little by little, just finally found things. And it wasn't like I was a hippie and not washing my hair or wearing deodorant. I just found better options. Like you don't have to be, people think, how am I going to get rid of all this stuff? I'm going to stink and be weird. There's so many natural, truly natural options out there. So, and Kristen and I can definitely help you with that because we can show you our journey on where we found and what some of our favorites are and things that actually work. So that's kind of like our things that we use in the bathroom and topically, but also what are you washing your clothes with? Conventional laundry detergent is loaded with chemicals, things like sulfates, fragrance, phenols, and many brands contain things like petroleum distillates, which are actually linked to cancer and lung disease. And I know you're thinking, well, they're just my clothes. I'm not like wearing them or anything, or I'm not like eating them, but we're wearing them. But they're sitting on your skin. They're off gassing in your closet. It's in the air you breathe in your home. It's affecting you. You're breathing these in. And next, what are you spraying to clean your home with or make it smell nice? And I am not judging you guys. I am coming from a place of I had all of these things. I used to have every plug-in air freshener, all the fall candles going for breezing the bedding, for breezing the couch, because nobody wants a stinky house, right? You don't want to be that person like, I don't have a stinky house. And when people come over, I want to smell nice. But I had no idea that these were polluting the air, affecting the air quality in our house. And the ingredients in these are horrible. They're linked to things like hormonal issues, developmental and reproductive toxicity. I know this is a passion of Kristen's talking about fertility. Like the things that we're using are literally affecting people's fertility. Like it's crazy. They have known carcinogens like formaldehyde in these ingredients. Known. These are known things. And something else
we use formaldehyde on dead bodies. Do we want that on us while we're living? I don't.
No, I don't want that around me while I'm living, for sure. And another thing about the smelly things. So when we're pregnant, we're told we shouldn't like paint because of the VOCs, right? Everyone knows that. And I know they're making like VOC free paint, but I still would probably be cautious of painting when I was pregnant. But that paint gives off, they know that there's VOCs in the paint that are given off that are dangerous for pregnant women. So these items that we use in our homes, they also give off VOCs, but we check it off as okay because it smells like pumpkin spice. It doesn't smell like stinky paint, but it's the same thing. VOCs are given off. They're just different. So just think of it that way. When someone said that, I was like mind blown, just like it made sense to me. Like, why would I want to be breathing that in? It's just like breathing a can of stinky paint all day. So
there's so many toxic things that we just let pass because it's pleasant to us, or it's wrapped up in the label of self-care or whatever, and it's really not self-care. It's really self-harm, and we're being lied to while it's being marketed to us.
Right. And it's making us feel bad. Maybe it's not a huge thing like cancer in your life right now, but I had a friend that got rid of her candles and air fresheners, and her chronic sinusitis went away. Like she didn't realize that was causing all her breathing issues all this time, allergies, asthma, things like that are triggering our lungs to react to these things. So I take the challenge, just stop them for 30 days and see how you feel. I promise you'll feel so much better. And I'll
bet within a few days you'll notice a difference.
Yeah. And I've even heard like candles are just like secondhand smoke in a room. So, which makes sense. You're literally burning toxic fumes into the air because most candles are full of horrible ingredients. So definitely something, especially with my sister having the diagnosis of lung cancer, that was something I wanted to do right away, is clear up the air in our home. I didn't want any, that made sense to me that stuff had to go. And don't worry, like I said before, with the personal care products, you're not going to have the stinky house or be the stinky person. There's so many easy ways you can make your house smell great. Like now we have our diffusers going constantly, and people walk in my house and we're like, what's that smell? Like they love it. It smells amazing. And like, I don't even miss the other stuff.
And the great thing about diffusers is when you have little kids or pets, you don't have to worry about open flames anywhere. You know, the worst thing that happens is they spill water. Like, okay, that's, you know, whatever, you're wet, you're not burned, you're not, you know, it's not hot wax. It's even just a safety thing too, which is great.
Yes, for sure. A bonus for sure. And like I said before, so I that was a lot of stuff that you guys are probably like, oh my goodness, I have all of this in my house. What should I do? So, and you're feeling a little overwhelmed. I used to have all these things. I just started, like I said, switching out one at a time. Don't even miss them now. I walk down the cleaning aisle or the laundry aisle at the store, and I like get an instant headache and want to cough my lungs up because it's so gross. And I can't believe that I ever use that stuff. So
I just like hold my breath and like walk as quickly as I can if I have to go down that aisle to grab something. Because like at our Walmart, it's like cleaning supplies and toxic stuff. And then like, you know, I don't use a lot of plastic, but you know, sometimes we need straws or, you know, plastic cups for a cookout or whatever. And I'm like, quick, grab what I need and like whack it off the shelf into my cart and like keep going, you know, it's like, I'm not here.
It's amazing when you get away from it that you didn't realize like how strong that really was. It's amazing. Like I still am baffled to this day. Like I can't believe I used all that stuff and I thought it was nice. And just feeling so much better knowing that we're not breathing those in and applying those chemicals to our skin, like just for some peace of mind. Like I know that we have good things and we are avoiding toxins. So I don't know what's in our future or what health concerns we're going to come down the road, but I'm going to be taking care of my body and doing everything I can with the knowledge that God gave me that these things are harmful and we shouldn't be using them. And as a society, we need to keep voting with our dollar. The more we show companies that we don't want those toxic ingredients, the more things are going to change. So over the last 10 years, things have started to change. They're getting a little better. We still have a long ways to go, but each step is a good step forward. And I'm hopeful that we are headed that direction. And it's great to see this, you know, that people want this. And it's important to find good companies that truly are clean products. There's a lot of them out there. Like we talked about the greenwashing. And I know that Kristen and I both have suggestions for you guys, and you can check out our links on Instagram and Facebook with companies that we trust and that we, you know that their products are truly clean and that they work. After losing my sister, it's become my passion to share this with others. I don't want anyone to ever have to go through this, you know, so any little thing I can do, if I can switch someone to using a toxic free cleaner instead of whatever bleach or 409 or whatever cleaner they were using before, and they got one toxic exposure eliminated from their house, that's a good day. Like that makes my heart so happy because I don't know what the effect of them using that cleaner over and over every day for the next 20 years would have had on them. I don't know. I can't tell the future, but at least I know that they're making one step forward. And
as do I make those changes, you get the texts about the little things that start to change. I don't have headaches and my skin's clearing up and, you know, my hormones are out of whack and I can sleep better. And it's just like, you just want to do a happy dance. Like every time you hear them, I wish I had started like a journal of those from the first one I got. And that's something I should probably do, but it's just so exciting to see those shifts because you know, it's going to happen, but when you're new to this, you're at that point of like, but is it real? Like, is it really going to make a difference? Like, or are you just trying to sell me something? It's like, oh, really? It will. Like, we've been there. We've experienced that. We know exactly how you're feeling and what you're thinking because we were there too. And we're all just, you know, a few steps ahead of you, but we want to turn around and pull you up with us because we know what it's like to feel better and to not have those concerns anymore. And it's awesome.
So true. And I think that's a little nugget for you guys out there listening to this. As you go on your journey and you start feeling better, tell people, they need to know this stuff too, because do I wish I could go back in time and reduce the amount of chemicals that we used back then? Yeah, I do, but we can't. We can only make better choices now and move forward. Do I wish that someone had told me that the things I've been using every day had cancer-causing chemicals in them? I really do. But I can't change that. There wasn't that person there for me until we had walked this journey. So that's why, and I know Kristen feels the same way. That's why we're here to be that person for you guys, to make those small steps to make a big difference in your health, in your journey, and just getting away from the toxic things in our life. So that's why we're here. That's why we do this. I know Kristen has a huge heart for helping people. That's why she has this podcast and changes lives with the things she shares with people. And that's what it's all about. So there's a little piece of my heart, I guess.
I'll say, and Bailey does exactly the same in different avenues, and she's been doing it longer than I have. So, it's not just me, but it's so much fun to have found you and Julie and Abby and all the other gals that I've had a chance to meet, and some of our leaders in our community, and to learn from each other and to encourage each other, and to know that when you step into this journey, you're not going to be alone. Like, you don't have to stumble around and try to figure this out for yourself. There is a community there, and God forbid if a diagnosis like cancer would come up, you have friends that are going to be there, that are going to walk through this with you, and we're going to support you and pray for you and do everything humanly possible, for you that we know to do. And it's amazing. Like, just having that community of people it's priceless. The last year, really getting to know you girls has been incredible.
Absolutely. You guys have picked me up when I felt discouraged or down more than I can count. So I appreciate that so much. Yeah. The community is the best. And I think that's a big part of this whole topic is, like we talked about the stress and things, but just having that person, like, find your people that, think the way you think and want to be better, that are going to help you make the better choices and help you move toward the better things in your life. Not that you want to leave the people that are dragging you down, but kind of just distance yourself a little bit and find those people that are lifting you up.
And they are there, because I know a lot of us are introverts like me, and it's like, oh, making friends is weird. Like, it's awkward. I don't want to put myself out there, but they are there. And when you find them, you will know. That's for sure.
I think that is what I had down. I feel like I could talk about this topic for hours and days, but
right.
That's kind of the Cliff Notes version of just some basic things that we can do in our everyday life to, make an effort to live a cleaner life and avoid cancer if at all possible. So yeah. And thank you guys so much for letting me share my story. Like I said, that was the first time I've kind of laid it all out there like that. So there were some tears while I was typing this a little bit as I dug back in some old thoughts and different things and experiences. So it was good for me to walk through that again, for sure. And I might, after we get off the phone here, go do some coloring in my coloring book. I think that sounds like a good plan.
Yes. And I will put the links to your books in the show notes, and there was a link to something else, the link to the Feelings Buried Alive book. I'm going to link a lot of the things that we talked about here in the show notes so everybody can find them. But definitely Bailey's book. She's on Amazon, so go find her. It's Bailey M. Lowe on Facebook or on Amazon, right? Or is it just Bailey Lowe?
Bailey Marie Lowe. Yep.
Lowe. I always get it wrong. Sorry. I've known you for a year and I still can't pronounce your last name. It's only 4 letters.
We're just on a first name basis. Like,
that's right. You're the tall twin. That's what I call you. But yeah, we will link all those things. And thank you so much. I know you put in a lot of work and you're a busy mama. And aren't we all? But yeah, I'm so glad this worked out. You guys, if we told you the story of all the things that happened in the midst of us like trying to connect and get this recorded, you would laugh hysterically. Let's just say cars, husbands, children, other things happening, other commitments we had over previous weekends that we were supposed to film this like days ago. So
the devil was trying to get us, but we got it done. So
yes. Yes. Kick the devil and Cancer, and we're gonna get this out there. So but we hope that this was a blessing to you, helpful, that you will take this knowledge and run with it. Please reach out to either one of us if you have questions. Bailey has more experience, I guess, with this topic specifically, but anything you guys need, reach out to us. We're here. We want to help. We want to mentor you and grab your hand and bring you along on this journey. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm gonna have to find another topic to bring you back for, because it's just so much fun. But I think you need to write this in a blog post too, because it was that good. It was that good.
I might have to do that. You're right. I might.
Bailey does blog, and she's got some good ones. So
thank you.
I'll have to put that link in the show notes as well, so you can find her blog. But thank you so much, and I will be back next week with whatever topic comes to mind, because that's just how I fly. So we'll see, but we will talk again sometime soon.
All right. Thanks, everyone.